Hi, my name is Jessica Polito, and I'll be the instructor for QR 140 Section 2 this term. I look forward to meeting you all. I'm just making this video really to run through sort of the bureaucratic stuff about how class is going to work. So we can really start Monday with some of the big ideas and topics in the course. You've also got a form that goes along with this. I'll be asking you to go there and fill out a few questions, and certainly to let me know if you have any questions or any feedback. I will spend some time Monday in class answering questions that you have about this material. So let me just bring up my slides. Hi, QR 140 with me. I use she, her, they, them pronouns. Email is the best way to reach me. I generally will not check it after 10 p.m. or before about 8 a.m. I do check it fairly regularly, however, including on the weekends. So feel free to get through to me that way. Just a little bit about me before I get started. I like to bake, at least when the weather is cool enough. I really did make the things in that picture. I spent a fair bit of time this summer kayaking for the first time, really, along the river. That's a bird, blue heron that I saw. I also read a lot, particularly, they're not exclusively science fiction and fantasy. These are some of the novels that I've read and really enjoyed this past spring and summer. And then there's what's been spending a lot of my emotional time and energy on, and that's the protests and the politics. I'm not going to get into that now. We could be here all day, and that's really not what this is all about. So before I get started on the details of the class, I just want to say life is rough now. We're all under a whole lot of stress. I know that you're doing the best you can. I trust that you will assume that I am also doing the best that I can. As I run through the syllabus, there's a lot of dates and you musts and mandatories. Above all else, I'm committed to making sure that you can learn everything you want to learn from this material. I will make accommodations when I can to help you finish your work, to help you learn and understand the course material. When you are facing difficult circumstances, I will be flexible and lenient with deadlines and course extensions. You just need to come talk to me. If you're having difficulties, I won't judge you. I will not think worse of you. You are trying to do your best under very difficult circumstances. So please do not suffer in silence. Do not be afraid to come talk to me. If you need help, if you feel like you're behind, come to me and come to me early so we can figure out what we're going to do moving forward. I will say you never need to share personal information with me. You don't need to tell me what's going on with your health, mental or physical, or other complicated issues in your life, but you're certainly welcome to come talk to me. If I can't help you, I can probably point you at people who can. There's a lot of content and ideas that I want you to learn in this course, but above all, I want you to stay healthy, balanced, and grounded through this crisis. I really look forward to meeting you and seeing you all in your masks. So the boring but necessary information about QR 140. We have a textbook. It's called An Introduction to Quantitative Reasoning, and I will be distributing electronically as a PDF. I will also have a lot of handouts. I intend to distribute almost all of those electronically, although I will sometimes have paper in class. On Monday and Thursday, we will be meeting in person in Gray 201. On the other days, we'll be meeting in Zoom and you will have some what we're calling asynchronous content. I'll have details on the next slide. I will have office hours on Wednesday during our normal class time, on unused live class time, and other times that I'll be setting based on your schedule. My office hours will generally be in Zoom. I'd like you to take a moment to go to the form and just introduce yourself to me. So, as I said, we'll be meeting live on Mondays and Thursdays. On Tuesdays and Fridays, we're going to have two different things. There's going to be shorter online Zoom meetings. I expect those will run from about 4 to 4:45, but I'm not promising that. This is really an opportunity to do group work, which we can't do that effectively in a socially distanced way. I will be asking generally groups to turn in some material, and I will hold office hours until 5:15. It'll be helpful for me to know how much experience you have with Zoom, so why don't you go answer that question in the form. In addition to those Zoom class meetings, I will also be asking you to regularly watch short videos, a lot like this one, and fill out the associated Google form. That pretty much fills up the rest of our class time. These will be best done before class on Tuesday and Friday, but absolutely must be done before our next class meeting. So after class on Monday, I will post a video. If possible, I'll ask you to look at it by Tuesday's class, but you definitely have to look at it and fill out the associated form by Thursday's class. There will often be 2 short videos. These forms are mandatory. You must complete all of them to pass the course, and you must complete almost all of them on time. They will not be graded. I am confused is always a legitimate answer. You can have extensions on 2 days worth of forms, but you do have to get to them at some point. My philosophy of teaching is that, and this is research validated, is that confusion is incredibly valuable. If you're never confused, you're not learning. When you're confused, is your opportunity to figure out what you know and where you have questions. And as a result, I'm not going to grade the forms and the homework because I want you to try and to get as far as you can. If you really don't understand what's going on, but you're able to say, I got confused at this point, that's as valuable as somebody who's able to get through all the material, no problem. So the goal for the forms and the homework is questions as much as it is answers. Office hours. I will be holding my office hours in Zoom so I can work with small groups. I'd encourage you to just come sometime this week and next week to introduce yourself and to kind of have the experience of dropping in on office hours and not just for when you're struggling. I will be holding office hours during our class time on Wednesday when we don't actually have a class meeting. And I'd like to encourage you all to come then just as a space to sort of work on your homework with other people. I'll use the breakout rooms if that helps. And you ask me questions if anything comes up. You can always send me email to set up an appointment to meet outside of office hours. That'll be particularly valuable if you want to meet one-on-one, because I expect my office hours to be group options. You should let me know if you want me to meet live. I will hold additional office hours. I haven't set the date and times for those yet. So I'm going to ask you to go to the form again and let me know when you're not available for office hours. I will look at that information in order to schedule when they are going to happen. I should say all of this about the schedule of the course and everything, this is tentative. I'll be asking for your feedback and revising things based on how the course works and based on what you tell me, and possibly based if there's any quarantine issues that come up. Please let me know now if you have any feedback for me about this basic structure of the course on our class form. I will be taking feedback very seriously this time, as always, really. Okay, so a little bit about homework and exams. There'll be homework. Pretty much every class I will be assigning homework, which will be due by the next class meeting, either live or online. So you will have homework due Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is in addition to the videos and forms. The video and forms are really considered part of our class time. You also have 3 midterm exams. At least the first 2 of these you'll be taking outside of class on your own time, but in sort of probably a 2-hour block that you will schedule. They should only take about 75 minutes, which is a normal class time. Those exams will be on September either 15th or 16th and September 29th or 30th. There will also be an exam around October 13th, the last day of class. I'm still working out the details there. In addition to these midterm exams, I will have a take-home final exam for you that will be distributed on October 13th and due on October 17th. That will not be a tight time-constrained exam. You can kind of have that entire 4-day period to work on it. So how does this add up to a grade? You'll have 3 midterm exams in the final, and those put together will be worth 80% of your grade. I'll be explaining the details on the next slide. The homework is worth the remaining 20%. If you make a sincere effort on the homework and turn it in, you will get the full 20%. However, you can't turn it in late because the whole process of do it, figure out what questions you have, and come to class and get those questions answered doesn't work if you're falling behind on the homework. I will let you skip 1 homework assignment and still get full credit. And all this about it may not be turned in late. If there are exceptional circumstances, if there's stuff going on in your life, I will be flexible about that. You just need to talk to me. In addition to this, you have to complete all the video forms. If more than 2 of the video forms are late, every additional late form will essentially count as a missing homework assignment. So finally, how do the exams add up to your grade? The exams put together are worth 80% of your grade, and here's how it works. I write down the scores of your 3 midterms and write your final exam score twice. I drop the lowest grade and average the rest. So if your lowest grade is on one of the midterm exams like this, it just goes away entirely and the other 4 grades get averaged together. Whereas if your lowest grade is on the final, then it counts for less. Then the final only counts for as much as the midterm, and I average together what's remaining. This means that everything you do in the class will play some role in your grade because the final is comprehensive. However, one bad exam can just kind of softly and silently vanish, never to be heard from again. So I think this gives us a good amount of flexibility. I also like to balance the time-constrained closed book exams with the unconstrained open book final. It lets me see what you know and what you can do in 2 very different settings. You should absolutely work together on the homework. Unless I tell you otherwise, I do expect each person to turn in her own work in her own words, but collaborating is fantastic. Just don't copy. You're only cheating yourself if you copy. The exams are individual. You may not collaborate in any way or talk to any other person about the exams. If you're going to be unable to turn in work on time or unable to take an exam when they're scheduled, talk to me as soon as possible and we can figure out a path forward. I think I've said this already, but don't just disappear on me. Come talk to me and I can help you. It gets a lot harder to figure out how to dig yourself out of a hole if you kind of disappear. And I know when you need help, it can often be very hard to ask. So I'll just say that again. Disability accommodations, if you have a disability or a condition, long-term or temporary, please talk to Disability Services and they can help you. You can also come talk to me and let me know what would be helpful to you. Often I can make unofficial accommodations well before Disability Services is able to set up official ones. So there's a long paragraph here that's the language they asked us to put in, but that's really, I think, the most essential parts. I really look forward to meeting you all on Monday. Please finish filling out the form to introduce yourself and then submit it. Absolutely let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Things that you ask and questions you raise on the form, I will generally be addressing common questions to the class in general. If you have a specific or particularly a personal question for me, please email me. That's far and away best if you want to prompt an individual response. And just to repeat what I said at the beginning, I check my email regularly from about 8 a.m. until as late as 10 p.m., although occasionally I am busy in the evenings and don't get to it. I do check it on the weekend. I really look forward to meeting you all and seeing you in person, at least sometimes. I hope the move-in has gone well for you. Take care.